Hello. I've recently been asked about how can I hurt less? And I get this question quite often, and I've even struggled with it myself. How can you protect yourself? So this video is all about the best ways to prevent yourself from getting hurt and also how you can get over being hurt really quickly. My name is Jennifer Van Wyk, and I'm a psychotherapist, a humanitarian, and an author. I like to create these videos about emotions because so many of us are not taught how to deal with emotions or even what they are or why they happen. So why does hurt happen? Hurt is a combination of two things. So first, there's pain. If you get rejected some way, if you lose your job, that is just painful. There's no way around it, right? But the second part of that is suffering. And suffering is avoidable. Suffering is the meaning that we make of the event that occurred. So for example, perhaps you lost your job and then you start thinking, oh, I'm worthless, or I have nothing to contribute to my family, or I have nothing to do with my life, or I don't have a purpose. So that's all meanings that are something that we don't have to add on to the pain already of losing your job. If you get rejected, going through a breakup or a divorce, that is painful enough as it is. But then often we add on the meaning of I'm not lovable, I'm going to be alone forever, I'm never going to find anyone. And that's what creates more and more hurt and pain. So first thing to do is notice the meaning that you're making from the situation and just stop saying those things to yourself. Stop saying I'm unlovable. Stop saying that you're worthless or you have no purpose. Because those words, that self-talk, has a really negative and powerful impact on your level of happiness and on the contentness or happiness of your heart. So that's step one. Step two is don't underestimate your magnificence. I don't know what other word to use except for magnificence. Hurt is this idea that we can be destroyed, or we want to protect ourselves because, we don't want to be damaged or hurt or destroyed, right? And none of that is real, actually. Yes, there's pain, but we are so incredibly strong. We have so much capacity. We can go through horrendous things. I have witnessed firsthand people that have survived the most terrible things you could possibly think of, right? And we're so much more powerful than we think we are. We're so much stronger than we think we are. And when we create this armor, or we try and protect ourselves, or fight against other people hurting us, we're actually demeaning the strength and glory we have inside of ourselves. So remember that. Don't be so afraid that other people can ruin your essence, because they cannot. You are stronger than anything. You are more than anything that anybody else can do to you. People can do horrendous things. Believe me, I know it. I've seen it. That does not define who you are. So now the second step. I recently went through probably one of the most difficult situations in my life, and I knew it was coming, and I was getting lots of support from my friends and family, and many of them gave me the advice of be strong, be an iceberg, do not show your emotion. And that reminded me of a metaphor that I actually recently came up with. I've been searching for a metaphor for this for years. And that is, what is easier to break, ice or water? Ice. Ice is obviously easier to break. And why? Because ice is hard. You can hit it. When you hit it, it cracks. Water, when you hit it, it just sprays or flows somewhere else, right? And so often when we try and protect ourselves, we make ourselves hard. We harden our heart. And that is actually the worst thing you can do to protect yourself. It's very counterintuitive. I understand it's you brace for impact, right? But often when you brace for impact, that's even when your bones break. You have more of an injury. The babies that are super floppy and relaxed, they can withstand impact, physical impact, a lot better than when you're hard and rigid and resistant. So actually, the best way to protect yourself is to be like water. And when I was going through this really difficult situation, I kept repeating that to myself. Be like water, be soft, let my heart be soft and even open. And actually, it created this, I mean, it was still difficult. There's still pain there, but it created this wonderful opportunity to see brand new things that I didn't even see. And it created a huge sense of peace that I completely didn't expect. I get that it's scary to be soft and like water in these difficult circumstances. But my goodness, I am so grateful that I was able to practice that in my own life, because it made the situation like infinitely times a million times better. I cannot say how much, like enough, what a big difference that made. So really, when you're scared or when you don't want to be hurt, imagine actually that your heart is like water. Relax. Don't put up your guards. Don't put up your walls, because that will only make you easier to break. And lastly, when you're feeling hurt, you've stopped doing the suffering, you've stopped making the meaning that's erroneous, that's false beliefs about yourself, right? You take that off and you just feel the pain. That pain is unavoidable, unfortunately, and it is part of being human. And the best way to process that pain, that core pain, is to imagine you're breathing that pain in through your heart, to acknowledge it, to feel it, and then breathing it out to release it. Breathe in that pain through your heart area. Imagine your heart is breathing it in, and then breathe it out to release it. Breathe it in, and then breathe it out. And do this for as long as you need. That pain will not last forever. There will be a sense of calmness after a while. It might be a few breaths, it might be a few minutes, but there will be a sense of calmness. That pain will not stay away forever. It usually comes in waves. We can't digest everything all at once, or else we're going to choke, right? So when that pain comes, just then breathe it in through your heart and breathe it out again to release it as it comes. You don't need to focus on it. You don't need to revolve your life around it, but you do just need to breathe that in through your heart, and that helps you process it and let it go. And it takes away the power of our fear of feeling that pain. Often our fear of pain is so much bigger than what the pain actually is itself. And it takes away that control that pain has over us. So imagine breathing it in and breathing it out. So in summary, remember the difference between pain and suffering, and the meaning you make, the suffering that you create en plus, on top of your pain. Then also understand the difference between water and ice. And when we're soft, it's so much easier to actually move through and to protect ourselves and to not be hurt or destroyed or fractured or cracked. And then breathe the pain in through our heart and out through your heart. And don't forget how incredible you are, how much strength and capacity for love that you have. I wish you all the best, and let me know if you have any questions or comments below.